Hey everyone, I'm Princess Link, and welcome back to Metal Gear Solid 2, Chapter 12. Tried to fade my hair, but it didn't, well, not good stuff. The bridge connecting struts E and D was vacant. Raiden rushed across, quickly scanned strut D's roof for enemy combatants. And then entered the stairwell. The floors below the roof consisted of a 2-level sediment pool, and please certainly smelled like one. Raiden winced as he crept inside the upper level, eyed the murky liquid in the pool, and hoped he wouldn't have to get in it. Luckily, the strut's node was adjacent to the entrance, so it was no problem accessing the map and activating the spectrometer. The green grid covered the space's entire southwestern section. The catwalk encircled the pool, so Raiden hopped onto it and made his way around, and then he saw the guide on the lower floor. The man stood near a hatch in the floor. In fact, the floor is covered in hatches. According to the spectrometer, the bomb was located under one of the hatches near the guide. Once again, Raiden retrieved the M9 and checked to make sure it was loaded with a tranquilizer dart, and aimed at the guide from his high vantage point. He squeezed the trigger and missed. The dart made a noisy ping that echoed throughout the chamber. The guide flinched and immediately pulled his AK-74U from his shoulder and let loose a spray fire at the upper level catwalks. Raiden barely had time to jump out from the way and hug the wall. Bullets zipped wildly just in front of him, almost 2 feet away. The ceiling became riddled with holes. The Russian soldier then got on his radio and alerted his mates. No time to lose. Raiden squatted and then lay forward on his belly. He inched back onto the catwalk, the M9 ready. Prone, he carefully moved to a position where he could see the portion of the lower level where the guide stood. The man hadn't seen Raiden, so he wasn't sure where the dart had come from. At that moment, the guide was concentrating on a section of the catwalk, a few yards to Raiden's right. The operative quickly pushed forward, aimed, and fired. The guide simultaneously saw Raiden and swung his assault rifle over. The dart struck the sentry's neck just as the trigger is pulled. Raiden ducked back into cover as a short burst of gunfire clouded around him, but then it ceased. Raiden looked again. The man was down. Once he was on the lower level, Raiden used the spectrometer again to pinpoint exactly where the C4 was located. He opened the hatch, found the explosive, and sprayed it with the canister. When the glowing diode faded, he ran as fast as he could back to the upper level in the stairwell. He paused just long enough to witness 3 more guards enter the sediment pool's lower level to investigate their fallen comrade's distress call. Raiden disappeared through the door, climbed the stairs, and hid beneath a ventilation duct on the roof. He made a call to Stillman on the codec. "I have the last C4 frozen. There's nothing showing up on the sensor now." "Good work, Raiden." Pliskin joined in. "You're way ahead of me, kid. I still have 1 to go." "How's your bomb, Peter?" Raiden asked. "It's a bomb, all right." People die when they are killed. Somebody said that the context makes it less stupid, but like, dude, no amount of context will ever make that line less stupid to me. It's sealed C4 in huge quantities. You think there's another one in strut 1? For sure, somewhere at the bottom of strut A. Why are you so certain? If this bottom section of the strut's demolished, Shell 2 will be well on its way to destruction. "You mean Shell 2 will actually sink?" Pliskin asked. "Not immediately. There'll still be 5 struts left. But if Shell 1 loses a strut at the same time, it'll be a different story. The big shell's structural integrity depends on a very exact balance. If both shells lose a strut each, the whole structure will tear itself apart under its own weight." "What do we do?" Raiden asked. "I have a sensor that can locate even those scentless C4s. It makes combined use of a neutron scintillator and hydrogen bomb detector. You brought that stuff with you?" "Of course, I made the calibrations while I was in the pantry." "Does it work?" "I just tested it, and it definitely responds. But the best I can do is a sound beacon, not the radar." "Sound? The shorter the interval between beacons, the closer the target." I get you. There's another one in the pantry I was in, Sensei B. You can go back and get it. It's all yours. It's all yours, Vaden, Pliskin said. I'm gonna study it some more and see if the fusing process will work. Don't touch the other one until I say so, Stillman said. Okay, Vaden acknowledged. I'll stand by till he radio in. At least he wasn't very far from Strut-C, where the kitchen was located. He had to wait, though, because the responding guides from the sediment pool appeared on Strut-D's roof to have a look around. Vaden remained where he was, silent and still. Thankfully, the guides didn't perform a very thorough search. One man muttered, "There's no one here," and they went back inside. Vaden waited another minute to be certain, but then he dashed across the bridge to Strut-C. The kitchen was empty. He entered the pantry, examined the various items Stillman had left behind, and picked up what he thought might be the sensor. He punched a button and the sound beacon beeped once. It chirped again after a few seconds. He called Stillman. "Peter, I have Sensor B." "Good. Head to Strut A and go all the way down to the bottom." "How's your invisible bomb?" "I'm looking at it, but I'm keeping my distance. How's Pliskin doing?" The SEAL raced on the line. "I have a few more minutes. I just got to the last drop, but there are a few enemy sentries I have to take care of." "Does it look bad, Peter?" Vaden asked. "Maybe. It's an odd one. The detonator hasn't been activated." "What?" "But the sensors are live, which means..." Vaden set off for the roof. There's a clear path to Strut B, and as he ran across the bridge, Pliskin made another transmission. "I've located the last C4. Stillman suddenly gasped. "No, is that it?" "I'm about to freeze it then." "Wait!" Stillman shouted. "Pliskin!" Vaden heard the hiss of spray, followed by a new sound, a ticking countdown. "Damn, that was it!" "What's going on?" Pliskin shouted. "The detonator just woke up. It's counting down." Stillman cried. "What happened?" Vaden asked. He reached Strut B and continued across the next bridge to Strut A. "The big ones were rigged to be activated when all the baby C4s went offline," Stillman explained breathlessly. "Vaden, the one on shell 1 should be counting down too. Hurry! What's the remaining time?" Stillman paused to make a quick calculation. 400 seconds! That doesn't mean anything. How many minutes is that, dude? Vaden, move! Get to the bottom of Strut A now! The operative cranked up the effort. He ran top speed across the roof to the stairwell. As soon as he opened the door, he was confronted by a guide. The momentum with which Vaden was moving hit the sentry full force, knocking the man down the flight of stairs. Was it Huey? Huey gets pushed down the stairs in both the games that he's in. Oh my god. Vaden didn't stop. He jumped over the unconscious man and made it to the pump room. The elevator was sitting there waiting for him. He jumped in and pressed the button to descend to the bottom. The codec burst on. "Vaden, Pliskin," Stillman said. "Listen carefully." "What is it?" Vaden asked. "I fell for it." "Fell for what?" Pliskin asked. "Fell for what?" Pliskin asked. "Fat man has my number. A proximity trigger. Microwave. Within an 8-foot range. It's not a technique I taught him. Neither was that a multi-bomb booby trap. Looks like he's far surpassed me as far as explosives techniques go. As for the rest..." Get the hell out of there!" Pliskin shouted. "There's less than 30 seconds left. It's too late." "No!" Vaden cried. Pliskin, get away from Strut H as fast as you can." "Vaden, keep your distance. When you find the bomb in Strut A, use the spray from as far as possible. You can do it. I know that." Just as the elevator reached the bottom of Strut A, the codec's transmission went to static. Vaden heard Stillman just beginning to shout in terror as the bomb exploded. In the distance, far away, there was a low rumble. Even there, at the bottom of the water in Strut A, Vaden felt a tremor. He had no time to grieve for Peter Stillman. Vaden stepped out of the lift and turned on Sensor B. The intervals between beeps were much shorter than they had been in the kitchen. Vaden moved across the upper storage area, which was still filled with crates and boxes, and into the corridor that led to the deep-sea dock. The hatch was open. Vaden went through, and Sensor B went crazy. It beeped constantly, faster and faster as Vaden approached the infiltration pool. The small deep-sea submarine hadn't been moved since he was last in the room. Raiden walked around the perimeter of the pool and noticed that the beeping was at its fastest when he aimed the device at the sub. The bomb was somewhere on it. Raiden moved to the far side of the pool to keep his distance, as instructed, slipped on his goggles, and slid feet first into the cold water. He ducked his head and examined the submarine. Sure enough, there was an abundance of C4 packs attached to the underside of the vehicle. He swam forward until he was just about 8 feet from the explosive, shook the canister, and sprayed. Even underwater, the coolant managed to coat the C4 and deactivate the detonator. Peter Stillman, you're a genius. May you rest in peace. Raiden got out of the water and removed his goggles. He stood and tried to contact Pliskin on the codec. Nothing but static. So he tried the colonel. Raiden here. I've neutralized the bombs.
Good work, Raiden,
the colonel said. Colonel, any damage report on the explosion?
Seems that the duct for diverting contaminated seawater was destroyed, and the central section of Shell 2 is flooding, and the explosions ignited the oil slick on the surface.
What about the toxins?
The chemicals stayed in containment. There's no immediate danger.
Is the big shell stable?
Shell 1 was unaffected. The price was high, but the threat of the bombs is over for now.
What's the next objective?
Rescue the president. Get back to the upper level.
Roger that. He walked through the corridor toward the elevator.
Raiden, the terrorists have retaliated for bomb neutralization.
What?
A hostage has been killed, shot in the head. They shot one of them on the roof, just to make sure we caught it. One of our satellites captured it, clear as day.
Damn!
They announced that they would kill one every hour from now on.
What are my orders? What should I do?
Stay with your mission objective. Rescue the president.
What about the other hostages?
President Johnson is your first priority.
Priority my butt! They're all in danger! Rose interrupted. Jack, be reasonable. I know that what you're feeling, but you can't save them all. No, not by myself.
The colonel said pointedly. Are you expecting Pliskin to come through? Looks like he's turned off his radio too.
I can't complete the mission by myself, Raiden said.
That man is not included in the simulation. He is not a factor in this mission.
Simulation, huh? What do you mean by that, Colonel?
Your mission must remain a solo effort.
What about the SEALs? No second attempt?
They haven't even gotten to planning that. All we can do is wait. In the meantime, you're our only hope.
Raiden. I want a wooden snowman, but no one sells it. Ow. Ugh. Raiden sighed. I understand.
Raiden, go and rescue the president. You can start by getting to the upper level of Shell A.
He signed off and then noticed that the elevator had been called up while he was in the infiltration pool. Now it was on its way back down, and he hadn't called it. Someone was coming! Best to find a hiding place. Raiden scampered to a grouping of trades, flattened himself behind them, drew the SOCOM, and waited. The lift stopped and the cage opened. The woman known as Fortune stepped out into the room, her long linear rifle in hand. At least it's not linear laser. Screw you, Gadol! I'm gonna fight you! I mean, I did, but like, still. Screw you, Gadol. I don't care about you. What even is your purpose in this game? Like, what does he even do? Nothing. Like, literally, he could just, like, not be in the game and nothing would really change. Except Chyler's motivation would be not his dumb, stupid fiancé anymore, which would actually be better, I think. Like, why can't you just want revenge for Colony 6? Why does she have to have a stupid fiancé who maybe died, but actually he didn't? He got turned into a face manga? Anyway, if you like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!